Welcome to everyone today. Dobrodošli sem. I'm Sonia Rosenworth, the Canadian Slovenian Chamber of Commerce Executive Director. Also hosting today's webinar with me will be Simon Pribac, the Chamber's International Business Development Officer, who is located in Slovenia. We look forward to dreaming and planning travel again, back to Slovenia and to Europe. 8 of 10 top destinations for travel in 2022 are in Europe, and travelers are eager to travel once again. Let's take a look at some new ways to experience Slovenia's culture and its scenic beauty. To take a closer look, we may suggest a cycling tour or a hike through breathtaking mountain villages. How about enjoying some seaside relaxation and revitalization in Piran and Portorož? Our speakers today will let you briefly experience some of the many treasures that Slovenia and the surrounding area has to offer. I hope that today brings you a few steps closer to returning to travel, to plan and make your dreams a reality. Enjoy the presentation today. And here I have Simon. Hello, Simon.
Hello and welcome everyone. So for the beginning, just a quick disclaimer. The content presented here is for general information purposes only and subject to change without notice. All information in this presentation is provided in good faith. However, we make no representation or warranty of any kind expressed or implied regarding the accuracy, adequacy, reliability, availability, or completeness of any information presented within. Any associated requirements, including but not limited to government legislation, taxation, or any other legal requirements, are the sole responsibility of your company. So this is our disclaimer, and now let's get to the fun stuff. So we are very pleased today to have the following esteemed presenters today with us. From Slovenian Embassy, Ottawa, Ambassador Andrej Rode. From European Union Chamber of Commerce and Canadian Slovenian Chamber of Commerce, Mr. John Doma. From Slovenian Tourist Board, Sasha Verovšek-Mušič. From Portorož Tourist Board, Alexander Valentin. From Compass Express Travel, Robert Žužek. From Elman Travel, Daniel Elman. From Country Walkers, Matt Thompson. From VBT Bicycling Vacations, Damian Mikulic, and from Life Class Hotels and Spa, Lana Schwab. So again, welcome everyone, and now let's begin. I would like to extend his welcome to His Excellency, Mr. Andrej Rode, Ambassador Designate at the Embassy of the Republic of Slovenia in Ottawa, Canada.
Good afternoon, Canada. Dobro večer, Slovenia. Ladies and gentlemen, hello everyone. I'm very happy to be here today with you at the webinar Return to Travel, Slovenia and Europe. I would like to begin by thanking our Honorary Consul General John Doma, Ms. Sonia Rosenwirth and Simon Pribac, and everyone involved in the event organization. I am also very happy to see the list of presenters and participants from Canada and Slovenia. Please allow me first to recognize the valuable efforts of the Slovenian Canadian Chamber of Commerce. With over 30 years of experience connecting Slovenians and Canadians and helping to share their businesses' expertise for mutual benefits. Tourism, it's an important sector of global economy, and of course, that applies also to Slovenian economy. After a year and a half of grappling with the pandemic, the tourism sector in Slovenia has been hit hard. In 2019, represented 10% of our GDP. In 2020, just 6.5%. Optimistically, things are taking a turn for the better and recovery is taking place. This pandemic has taught us how to be creative and to engage in real changes for our planet and future generations. Our tourism will transform. We are walking the road of recovery and transformation together. Our attention has been shifted towards sustainability and offering travelers an excellent opportunity for spending leisure times safely. Slovenia is clearly becoming a global green unique destination for demanding visitors looking for diverse, active, green, and first-class experiences. Slovenia has lately attracted a lot of attention from global tourist media. One of the last is Lonely Planet, who put Slovenia in the 5th place on a list of the top 10 destinations in the world to visit in 2022. I hope that next year will be better year for tourism, and I am sure Slovenia will be well prepared for that. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ambassador Rode. Now a few words from Mr. John Doma, Director of the Board and Treasurer of the European Union Chamber of Commerce, Honorary Consul General for the Republic of Slovenia in Ontario, and Director at the Canadian-Slovenian Chamber of Commerce. Thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Your Excellency, Andrei Rode, for your opening remarks today. On behalf of the European Union Chamber of Commerce and the Canadian-Slovenian Chamber of Commerce, I just want to welcome you and welcome our presenters and participants today. We have a very knowledgeable group of people that will be speaking on traveling to Slovenia and Europe. One of the things that you should know is that Slovenia was selected as one of the prime travel destinations in the world, top 5 by Lonely Planet. And it's probably attributable to the active type of vacation that most young people and us older people, including myself, are looking forward to do in our travels these days. There's so much to see regarding nature, hikes in the Alps, in the plains, your exposure to spas, the sea. There's just so much to do in Slovenia in terms of having an active vacation there. So it is definitely a place that you should consider in visiting. So I look forward to hearing from everyone. Please be patient. They have a lot to say about Slovenia. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Doma. Now, we are pleased to have Sasha Verovšek-Music, Project Manager at Business Communication Department, Slovenia Tourist Board, to talk to us today about things to see and do in Slovenia.
Hello and welcome everybody. Also on behalf of the Slovenian Tourist Board. Here are different topics that I will go through in today's presentation. But first, I would like to share with you some general information about Slovenia, about its location. As you might know, Slovenia is positioned in the Central Europe, in the triangle of Venice, Vienna, and Budapest. Which makes it very easily accessible actually from everywhere. From Venice, for example, you only have 1 hour drive to Slovenian border, 2 hours drive to our capital, Ljubljana. And if we are talking flight distances, for example, if you are flying from Paris, you only have 1 hour flight or 2 hour flights from London. Slovenia is a small country with a population of just over 2 million. We are a part of the EU and the Schengen area, and we have Euro, and all these things make it even easier to travel to around Slovenia and also combine it with maybe some other European countries. Although Slovenia is a small country, it's very diverse because it is located at the crossroads of 4 different geographical regions: the Alps with the high mountains, the Mediterranean Sea, the Pannonian Plain, and the karst region with its magnificent underground creations. The story of Slovenia is the story of love. Actually, Slovenia is the only country with the word love in its name. And this is the love for nature, love for green, and also the vision. The story of Slovenia is the story of love. And the vision is for us, for Slovenia, to become a global green boutique destination for guests who are seeking diverse and active experience, peace of mind, and personal benefits. And here are some green facts about Slovenia. Slovenia is one of the greenest countries in the world. 60% of Slovenia's surface is covered with forest. 1/3 of Slovenia's nature is protected, and Slovenia is one of the wealthiest countries in terms of water and biodiversity. For sure, nature has gifted Slovenia with many beautiful features, and green is a part of our identity. It's in our hearts, and sustainability is at the core of all of our tourism activities. And to prove this, we've received several awards in this field and gained recognition by different prominent media as one of the top travel destinations. And because of all this beautiful nature, Slovenia is also a perfect playground for active holidays, might it be on foot, on bike, in the middle of green forests, in the mountains, next to water, or like here, underground in the caves. Everywhere you look in Slovenia, a world of active adventure awaits for you. If we mention just a few of the perfect occasions for active holidays in Slovenia, we for sure cannot miss Lake Bohinj in the heart of the Julian Alps. Bohinj is located at the entrance of the Triglav National Park, named by Mount Triglav, Slovenia's highest peak, and the hills and valleys that surround the lake offer exceptional hiking and biking possibilities. But if you are more of a water fan, then be sure to visit the beautiful Socha Valley, surrounded by breathtaking green nature. The sounds of the crystal clear river rapids there will for sure make you wanna go whitewater rafting, canoeing, or canyoning. And from the mountains to the sea, the Mediterranean coast is also ideal for swimming during the late spring months, summer or early autumn months, or sailing any time of year and walking through the narrow streets of the medieval seaside towns. Slovenia also has a rich cultural heritage. Actually, everywhere you go, you'll be impressed by historic towns and fairy tale castles, festivals, and of course, where better to start our cultural journey through Slovenia than with our capital, Ljubljana. The town's image by the Ljubljanica river with picturesque bridges and the marketplace was designed by the famous architect Jože Plečnik. And the parks and natural protected areas surround the city. So although it's a capital, it's very closely related to nature. And here is Maribor, Slovenia's second largest city, where you can find the oldest grape wine in the world. The grape wine is 500 years old, and it is written in the Guinness Book of World Records as the oldest noble wine that still bears fruit. And back at the Alpine area, this is where the only Slovenian island is located. It is in fact on a lake, Lake Bled, and to get to the island, you should take a traditional wooden Pletna boat. On the island, you can visit a Gothic and Baroque church, where you can ring a bell, and by doing so, the legend says that you will be blessed with years of happiness and good luck. So be sure not to miss that. There is a medieval Bled castle on the cliff just above the lake, and together with the island, it is probably the most famous image of Slovenia and most commonly seen and recognized around the world. Back at the Mediterranean, Piran is a romantic historical town, and you will hear more information about Piran and its history in Alexander's presentation later on. One of Slovenia's cultural highlights is, without a doubt, Lipica, the oldest stud farm in Europe. Lipica is the home to the Lipicaner horses since 1580. And these beautiful white animals, in fact, are born black, as you can see here in the picture, and only turn white when they grow up. Lipica is located in the karst region, where you can find more than 10,000 karst caves. And Postojna cave is for sure one of the most popular among them. And a unique electrical tourist train will take you through the most visited tourist cave in Europe. And I'm sure that nature's creations there will for sure leave you speechless. And just a stone's throw away is Predjama Castle, the largest cave castle in the world. In the 16th century, this castle provided shelter to the famous knight Erasm Predjamski. Another site that for sure shouldn't be missed are the Škocjan caves, and the caves are under the UNESCO protection. There you can see the most extensive underground river canyon in Europe. Now, let's shortly move to gastronomy, which is also in Slovenia closely related to nature. In our country, you can find diversity also in this field. Otherwise, a relatively small country, Slovenia has as many as 24 gastronomic regions and 3 wine growing regions. You can enjoy your meal in one of the many tourist farms in Slovenia, or in the well-known open kitchen market that takes place every Friday from May to October in the city center of Ljubljana. Or of course, you can treat yourself to an exceptional gastronomic experience in one of many Slovenia's world-class restaurants. Many of the Slovenian restaurants source their ingredients directly from the local farms within their closest proximity, and they swear by the farm-to-table concept. Actually, last year, Slovenia, we enhanced our international visibility in the gastronomic field, also with the arrival of the famous Michelin Guide. And this year, 6 restaurants received the Michelin star, and two Michelin stars went to Hiša Franko and the only lady in this group, Chef Anna Roš. Before we get to Hungary, let's continue with the next chapter, which covers health and well-being. Slovenia, in fact, is a land of thermal and mineral springs, a land of healthy waters. Slovenian health and spa resorts are one of the pillars of the Slovenian tourist offer, and their offer can be divided into 4 main products: health treatments, where you can improve your health with the help of nature, knowledge, and years or centuries of experiences; prevention or medical wellness, to preserve your health and prevent diseases; wellness, selfness, simply for your relaxation, indulgence; and something for the whole family, so aqua farm and thermal water parks, where you can also get your kids entertained. And to make experiences Slovenia even more unique, more personal, your own way, we've designed together with the providers on the field, we've designed special unique experiences, and we gathered them under the unique experiences label. In the following slides, I'm giving you just a quick glimpse of some of the experiences, and I'm happy to invite you to our webpage, slovenia.info, to learn more about them, and there you can also simply book them. On our webpage, slovenia.info, you can also find many useful practical information, or just a motivation why and when to best visit Slovenia. You can also download brochures, maps from our webpage, or you can follow us on social media. We are also always happy to have new followers. So this would be everything for now from my side. Hvala, or thank you, and we hope to see you soon in Slovenia.
Thank you very much, Sasha. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. I think people are going to start packing their bags as we speak, from seeing that, the beauty of Slovenia and everything that there is to do. Even having traveled there quite often, I didn't know half of the things that you presented. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
It is important to note that travel to Slovenia and Europe has new challenges due to COVID restrictions and protocols. To help navigate, it is more important than ever to turn to experts that have up-to-the-minute information and will let you enjoy your vacation worry-free. A travel agency that has been serving the Canadian and Slovenian community for over 50 years is Compass Express. And here to talk to us today is its president, Robert Južek. Robert, welcome.
Hi, Sonia. Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity that the Canadian Slovenian Chambers of Commerce is giving us through this invitation. For those who know us and for those who don't, we are a long-established tour company located downtown Toronto. And next year, we are going to be celebrating our 50th anniversary. So that's half a century of family business. We have been involved, in fact, in travel. My family has been involved in travel well beyond that. And they started, my dad started in 1950, so that would make it 71 years. But under the name Compass Express, it is 50, and we're going to be celebrating 50th anniversary next year. Okay, so this is a picture of our office, and we are, as I said, located downtown Toronto. We have half a century of travel history, which is viewable on online at compassexpress.com. Next slide. We have, during the course of this activity, we have been going through all different changes that the travel industry has gone through. So we started off as a traditional service type travel agency in the 1970s, and through the years we have also become charters of air charter flights in what used to be Yugoslavia at one point. And we have adapted with the through the years to the nuances of the travel industry, where small groups and focus groups became more and more prevalent. And in fact, we have been running many different groups of different types, niche groups, throughout the course of our activity, starting from the 1980s. We have invested during this time a lot of time in promoting press trips to destinations, including Slovenia. And as you can see on the press reviews, also on our website, we have stimulated the production of newspaper articles, front page newspaper articles, and travel sections of national newspapers, such as in this case the Globe and Mail, where we had a two-part series on Ljubljana, A Very Merry Christmas, that was written in Ljubljana during the period of Christmas. We can go to the next slide. Throughout our activity, we have, as I said, transitioned from a full-service travel agency to a totally online business, which has been such since 2014. And you can find any product that we sell, including special products like the ones presented by our colleagues later on today on our website. You can go to the next slide now. And on our website, you will see that amongst one of our destinations, Slovenia is always in our hearts. We have been able to promote Slovenia with our own means throughout the period of our activity. And in fact, under the auspices of the Slovenian Chamber, the Canadian Slovenian Chamber of Commerce, back in, I believe, in 2015, we produced the only wholly dedicated brochure for Slovenia, where we had we were presenting golfing, cycling, wellness, wines, and thermal spring holidays. So we do have the desire to work with Slovenia and the desire to present and showcase the Slovenian part of the Slovenian tourism in the Canadian marketplace, but not only the Canadian marketplace, also in other global theaters where we are working. If you want to go to the next slide, this is the challenges that we have, challenges and opportunities that we have post-COVID. Of course, I won't bother you with the big problem that we've had in terms of business, as all the tourism industry has been hit very hard during the past year and a half, or now almost 2 years. We have not been immune, obviously, to that. And I would just like to reflect that post-COVID, there are still some deterrents in the marketplace that do prevent people from booking, or do make people think before they're booking. One is all the problems associated with documentation that is required to travel these days, not only into Slovenia, but mostly returning to Canada, with the mandatory PCR testing 72 hours. This is both hindrance because of the cost and because of the logistics involved. There is I feel that there is a general insecurity. People are not willing to commit to bookings, let's say 6 months down the line, because of the general insecurity of the marketplace. And of course, the deterrent is the increase in prices. We see every day prices go up in terms of travel services, and what was once sold for $1,000 is now costing about $1,400. So we have substantial increases in pricing during the peak times. But every challenge brings also opportunities. One of the opportunities is desire to travel again. So we are seeing a lot of inquiries for travel to, in general, for travel, but also travel to Slovenia. And some of the newer client tier that, let's say, newer demographics that we have are looking for new forms of tourism. So again, the presentation that our colleagues are about to make regarding active tourism is one of the sectors that is is requested. And I would like also to say that it is very important that you, when you organize travel, you do have the assistance of a qualified travel advisor. In Ontario, this is possible through TCO appointed travel agencies such as ours. And there are so many different things that you need to know when you travel to a destination such as Slovenia, that it is always the best policy to have somebody who is an expert in the matter to counsel you as to which decision to make as far as travel. And of course, sometimes you'll be surprised that the prices that you get through us are cheaper than the prices that you can find online. So if you want to go to the final slide, I think it's a closing slide. Yeah, that's us. We are located at 741 Bloor Street West, and our phone number is easy to remember because it's 1-800-EUROPE-1. So that's 1-800-387-6731. Or if you're calling from the 416 area, it is 416-534-8891. Thank you, Sonia, and thank you to the Canadian Slovenian Chamber of Commerce for this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Now we welcome Daniel Elman from Elman Travel. Him and his wife's travel agency specializes in river cruises, ocean cruises, coach tours, Caribbean vacations, Florida travel destination, weddings in the Caribbean, and active vacations, representing VBT and country walkers, who we'll hear from shortly. They have been in the travel business for over 18 years, and Danny has over 40 webinars posted on travel. Danny, please.
Thank you, Simon and Sonia, for both the invitation to attend this travel event and also for the introduction. As one can imagine, being a travel agent for the past year and a half has not been one of the most gratifying of occupations, but we are seeing signs of the world just starting to open up. And with the US border opening very recently, and with, in my opinion, the best sign, travel insurance companies who operate under the strictest of rules regarding covering existing conditions now starting to offer coverage for COVID, although it's in a limited form. When COVID starts being recognized due to vaccinations as being as common as the standard flu, and with restrictions on travel being relaxed as such, I think we'll be well into recovery. And I think that's just around the corner. A bit about my company. Almond Travel has been in business on the East Coast since 2003, and that's over 18 years. River cruises, one of our biggest specialties. We've done 10 itineraries around the world, including Asia. In Vietnam, 2 itineraries, the Mekong with Cambodia, as well as the Red River in the north, the Yangtze in China, the Nile in Egypt, as well as the Rhine and the Danube and the Rhone in southern France, the Po River in Italy, and Portugal's Douro River in Europe, and also the Mississippi on an old-fashioned paddle wheeler in the United States, which was kind of neat. Also focus on coach tours, from local bubble tours, like a tour of Newfoundland and Labrador, to coach tours around the world. We work with a variety of touring companies to find the best option for you. Ocean cruises, we've experienced the most popular itineraries: Hawaii, the Mediterranean, the 3 Caribbean itineraries, a cruise around the UK, which was really a neat experience, from New Zealand to Australia, and of course, Alaska. Destination weddings, we've done 130 destination weddings from across Canada in the Caribbean area, and certainly have lots of experience with that. And related to that, Caribbean area vacations, because of our visits to the Caribbean area to inspect resorts, we can recommend for adult-only vacations or family vacations as well. And finally, Florida trips. If you want to stay in North America, we focus on theme park vacations like Universal Studios, Disney, SeaWorld, and Busch Gardens. Have been to all of those several times. But back to the focus of this presentation. Slovenia has the advantage of being located next to several well-known countries to add some variety to visits to this part of the world. Italy, Croatia, Austria, and Hungary are right next door. And while a visit solely to Slovenia would be a wonderful destination in itself, paired with another of these 4 very well-known countries close by would add some lovely diversity to your trip. 2 of the earlier mentioned specialties that we focus on are what I'd like to mention briefly for this presentation. River cruises in bordering countries, for example, the Danube, beginning or ending in Budapest, would allow a pre or a post-cruise visit to Slovenia, with the capital Ljubljana being only a 5 to 8 hour drive or train trip away. There's also a cruise line that offers a Sava river cruise, which flows through Slovenia, though the cruise is only offered in neighboring countries, Croatia and Serbia. Again, close to Slovenia for a 2-country visit. And major coach tour companies like Trafalgar, Intrepid, Kensington, Exodus, and G Adventures, all very competent and reliable companies that I have a good relationship with, offer tours of Slovenia or 2 or 3 country tours, which include Slovenia. Definitely some worthy options. We also work closely with the company in Slovenia highlighted in today's presentation, VBT Bike Tours and Country Walkers, and have done so for several years. Well, that's it for me. Back to you, Sonia.
Thank you, Danny. This is the perfect segue to our featured presenters from Xanterra Travel Collection, who will present their active vacation experiences. First, we'll have Matt Thompson, Senior Manager of Marketing Communications at VBT Bicycling Vacations and Country Walkers. And then Damian Mikolic, Field Operations Manager, VBT Bicycling Tours from Slovenia. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. Now we join Matt's presentation as he outlines how VBT and Country Walkers make it possible to actively pursue the best of the world. His presentation is underway and we join him now.
We stay in premium accommodations in boutique local hotels that really capture the character of a region. That's really an important thing to us. We try to avoid the big chain hotels whenever possible. We want to support the local community, local owners whenever possible, and two, to give you places that really get you into the heart of the culture, that not the big resort hotel up on a hill far away from the destination, but the little boutique city hotel that lets you just get out and explore the town in the evening. We offer both classic destinations and more off the beaten path destinations. And wherever we go, I think we try to get away from those over touristed areas and out into the countryside where you meet the people who are excited to see travelers and really are eager to have those moments of connection with you as well. And as I said before, we really carefully rate all our activity levels for our trips so that no matter how hard you're wanting to work on your vacation, we have the right trip for you. And then cuisine is another big thing as well. We have about all of our breakfasts included in about half of the lunches and dinners on all of our trips. And we also offer air packages. We contract directly with airlines to negotiate sort of more advantageous pricing on all of the flights. I can't promise you it's the best rate if you spend 3 weeks trolling Expedia.com and are willing to do a no refund airfare where you can't take any luggage. You might be able to beat us on pricing, at what cost? No, just kidding. We take all the guesswork out of that, the finding flights and arriving comfortably at your destination. So really all you have to do is get to the airport and we've got you from there. And then all the more important in this era of COVID, we really work hard to make sure that we're putting your safety first, second, and third. I'm going to get into that in a little bit, what we're doing in this COVID era to help keep guests safe, because we've been putting a lot of work into that. But in addition, we really make sure that we have well-tuned, up-to-date gear for everyone. So the bikes, the helmets are all very high quality. So I want to talk a little bit about VBT specifically and then a little bit about country walkers. So as a little map, you can see all over the world with a concentration in North America and in Europe, and then a sort of smattering of places in the rest of the world. We offer 3 travel styles. Guided biking, which is a small group experience. There is a maximum of 20 guests and 2 guides and a support van that will follow you along. If you need to get picked up, if you need to have a flat tire changed, we're there to help you out. Bike and boat trips are river cruises, barges, things like that. So it's basically a guided trip, but you're on a single accommodation the whole time. And the boat moves while you sleep, so you wake up in a new place to go on a great ride. And then we've just started rolling out over the last few years self-guided biking, where we have a local host who is there to keep tabs on you, keep track of you, but you go out on your own, and we provide the bikes, we provide the hotels, we provide the biking routes with turn-to-turn GPS navigation, voice navigation. So you just have to listen to a voice telling you where to go, and then transfers as needed. So if we need to move from one part of the country to another, we provide all of that. So it's really like having your own private vacation completely planned for you, and all you have to do is just call us up and book it. So those have been very popular, sort of just coming on in the last few years, and I think are sort of going to become, we're developing new itineraries in many more places. I think we have 9 currently. We have one in Croatia, not yet in Slovenia yet, but give us a little time because they're definitely taking off, and we anticipate developing many more to come in the coming years. So country walkers, and I'll move us along again. So similar map, you can see a bit more. We have some walking safaris in sub-Saharan Africa, in Botswana and Zambia, and South Africa, and lots of Europe represented as well, obviously, as well as North America. and some South America. And we have two travel styles, guided, which is very similar to the VBT biking vacation, guided, which is very similar to the VBTs, except you're walking obviously instead of riding, and self-guided, which is again very similar. I will say the main difference between the biking tours and the hiking tours, aside from the obvious bicycle, is that on a biking tour, people tend to spread out over several miles. So if you really want to get away from the group and feel like you're riding on your own, you can. And then you just sort of all come back together when it's time to meet up for lunch or a snack or something like that. Whereas with a guided tour, the groups tends to stay closer together, and it's a little bit more social during the walking because of that. And while the guides for both brands are exceptional, you tend to stay a little bit closer to your guide on a walking and hiking tour. And so if you want that sort of interpretation of the local culture in an ongoing way, it's really a great way to get that, because they can just sort of offer an ongoing monologue of where you're going, of what you're doing, and because they're local to the places where you guide, often introduce you to their friends and family members who you pass along the way. I was just talking with someone who was on the Amalfi Coast on the island of Capri with one of our guides, and the guide had been on the island of Capri for his family for 4 generations that they're aware of. And so when you walk through Capri, every single shop owner comes out the front door to say hi to Luigi. And it's kind of this special experience that you just can't have on your own if you go by yourself. To speak of safety a little bit more, it's obviously, we all know how the last 2 years have been. They've been a challenge for us as well. And I wanted to talk a bit about what we've been doing and how we've been staying on top of that. So we have put, I can't even estimate how much time we have spent working really hard on making sure that we are moving back to operating tours in a safe and responsible way. We were consulting with an epidemiologist from Anschutz Medical Center in Denver, the biggest hospital in Denver, who was providing us with ongoing advice on just ensuring that we're doing this the right way. We have decided to require vaccines for all tours, just because that seemed to us to be the only responsible thing to do. And we have safety protocols for every aspect of the tour. Distancing when relevant, sanitation, food handling, transfers in our vans, et cetera. And the upshot of all that is that we actually have been able to operate tours in Europe this year, which I know many people haven't been able to. We really kind of rolled up our sleeves and did it. And I will say it's been an really great success. We were very eager to see evaluations come back from guests returning from these trips to see, well, what is the experience actually going to be like? You know, you can do everything you can to plan it, but ultimately the proof is in the pudding with how people respond to it. And we were really gratified to see that the quality scores for experiences in Europe this year were exactly the same as they've ever been, with many people saying, you know, aside from a few little things here and there, like putting on a mask when I'm walking into a restaurant and putting it on when I'm getting up to walk out, I would never have known that anything was any different. That it was really handled so seamlessly by the European Union and by VBT and country walkers that it has really made all the difference. So that was really gratifying for us to hear. You know, the nature of our trips is that we do get away from crowded urban centers, we get out into the countryside, we get out into nature, so you can really escape from all of the challenges of a COVID world. So we've benefited from that, but it makes us very, very encouraged for looking forward to 2022. That we believe that it will be a really great year to get back to traveling again. Oh, and then just a few more things to quickly note. The we did relax our booking cancellation policies because we know that people have their own evaluations to make about what is safe to them. So we kind of made that change to give people more flexibility. If you don't feel comfortable with traveling, you can book the trip and then say, you know what, we've talked it over, this isn't right for me right now, and either cancel, get a refund, or postpone to a different departure, a different tour, a different year with no penalty. So we really are trying to be guest centric with all of this. And then the other thing we have is 50 years of experience. We were supposed to be celebrating our 50th anniversary starting June 2020. So I think we're going to be celebrating our 51st instead. It really does make a difference. Like I think Robert was saying earlier, working with travel experts, it is a time to be doing that. It is really not a time to be going out and blazing a trail for yourself. So I would encourage everyone, if you take nothing else away, to as you consider getting back to travel, to really avail yourself of the expertise of the travel experts that are out there. 24/7 support. One more. There we go. Speaks for itself. All right, and I will hand it over to Damian to talk about our VBT itinerary in Slovenia.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everybody, for your attention. So my name is Damian. I work from my little office from Ljubljana, Slovenia. I began as a tour guide, tour leader when SLB tour, the Slovenian tour, was established 14 years ago, I guess. Then later on, I was invited to help with the backstage office activities, and here I am. So yes, so it's very exciting to be back. Actually, it's very exciting to bike around with guests again. And we were so happy to resume travels back to Europe, starting with Iceland and Ireland, and finally with Croatia and Slovenia and so on. So I would like to take this opportunity to really say officially Dobrodošli in Slovenian, Willkommen, and Benvenuti in Italian, because this tour, which I'm going to tell about, goes through 3 different countries here. And on the left corner, you can see part of our team, Samo from Slovenia and Tiziana from Italy. These are our senior trip leaders on this trip, and also welcome you to join. So first of all, I would like to, take you to take your imagination where all the good fairy tales begins. Imagine you climb all these high mountains, you walk these green forests, you swim green lakes and green rivers, and which destination looks like this? And this photo is taken in the area of Kranjska Gora in beautiful Julian Alps. So you see the fairy tale landscape photo. So why to choose this particular tour? So first of all, we are located in Julian Alps, and we are using bike paths, famous bike route called Alpe Adria bike route, and the other one on the Austrian side called Drau Radweg. And it's pretty much car-free, mostly paved, and very scenic. We bike every day about 40 kilometers. This tour is rated as easy, as we stay in the Alpine valleys, and good news, we follow the rivers downstream, so pretty much flat or downhill. Exciting 3-country tour, pretty much 3 different cultures, so Italian, Germanic, and Slovenian, 3 different languages, rich history, and yes, 3 different wine regions too. This tour is romantic. Why not? As Sasha mentioned, Slovenia is the only country with love in its name, Lake of Bled, the Alpine villages, just to mention some romantic features. Yeah, so there is something about history here, right? And when we get guests here, they're eager to learn, how was behind Iron Curtain. And then I said, our Iron Curtain was not as thick as the Soviet Union one, you know, and how Tito was connected with JFK, and how actually Yugo car succeeded in the North American market, and how these all stories are connected with Walt Disney Mickey Mouse. We can tell you all these stories, but you need to sign up for a tour. So this is a little map which will describe where our tour goes pretty much. So arrival city is Ljubljana airport usually, and then we stay in Ljubljana between 1 to 3 nights. It depends which package you book. This is without the bicycles and without it's pretty much arrangements on your own. And then the blue triangle here shows where our tour goes, where our biking portion of the tour goes. So pretty much we visit the Lake of Bled area, we stay in Kranjska Gora, and then we stay also in Tarvisio on Italian side for 2 nights, and then we shift to Austria, and we stay the last 2 nights on the biking portion near famous Wörthersee Lake. And then you say goodbye to the bikes and to the trip leaders, and you are shuttled with 3-hour transfer to Salzburg, where it's a post-trip begins, and it's we give you recommendations and you make your own arrangements to enjoy the Salzburg area, and then you can fly out from Salzburg city if that's your preference. So Ljubljana, Slovenia pre-trip, I will not lose any words because my presenters before me describe it so well. So pre-trip, you can stay between 1 or 3 nights. If you stay up to 3 nights, obviously you will have time to visit like half-day trip, full-day trip, caves, Lipicaner farm, Velika Planina Shepherd Plateau. I would mention to see how the life in the mountains are, talk with shepherds, talk with cows, and try some local cheeses. And Koper and Piran. I'll not go too far with that. Okay, and then we are on day 1 officially when land portion of the trip begins. This is the day that one trip leader will appear in a VBT hotel in the old town of Ljubljana and will escort entire group with the bus to Tarvisio. It's about 2.5 hour bus ride, and then we're gonna stay in the Hotel Edelhof, family-owned Alpine 4-star style, very authentic. After lunch here, we're gonna have a warm-up ride. But before that, our trip leaders will have a safety talk. Our trip leaders will introduce you into your best friend of the week, which is your VBT bicycle. So in all cases, whichever VBT trip you take, bicycle is always included in the package price, so there is no additional fee. And how this thing goes, so in the process of booking, that can happen 6 months, a year, or even more before the actual departure date. You would tell the booking agent your height and your bike preference, and then computer will automatically assign you a proper bicycle for you. So you can choose between hybrid, you can choose between the road bike or e-bike. You will be provided also water bottle and the bike bag. All our bikes have Shimano components, and e-bike has German Bosch technology. More about technology. So what is e-bike? It is really a game changer. Now has been about 4 to 5 years that we have them, and we order every year more and more e-bikes. So demand is really straight to the roof. It's really a game changer for many of our guests and for the newcomers also. So if you have doubts, am I be able to really bike 40 Ks each day, or how about those hilly sections which they are, even the tour is flat or downhill? So the answer is you can use the e-bike. It will provide you comfortable and safe vacations. You will be able to keep up to catch up with your spouse, with your partner or friends who might be more avid bikers comparing with you. I would like to also to talk about Ride with GPS here. So we are so excited that each trip, whichever VBT trip you take, will give you a complete voice navigation. So how this works, you'll download a free app on your smartphone, which is called Ride with GPS. It's free for the VBT guests. And then a few weeks before your actual departure, you will get an email with all the valid links. So from day one to day 6, and each morning when you hop on your bicycle, you just choose day 2. Navigation begins, and it will give you pretty much navigation between point A to point B. Not only that, that particular voice will give you also explanation about toilet possibilities, exactly where are you located, about some sightseeing, and so on. So very, very useful device, all included into the price. Yeah, and then in the evening on the first day, we have a little cocktail reception, and we talk about, of course, how the typical VBT guided day looks like. Of course, there is a group breakfast or at your leisure, and then 8:30 is actually official. 8:30 a.m. is official route review, as we call it. If the weather permits, it's actually outside or inside if there is a more rainy day. And on that day, so there are 2 trip leaders with you for entire week. So on that day, the daily logistics will be explained. Maybe some tricky turns will be explained. Are there any sightseeing during the day on the option? Is lunch included or not? If not, we have recommendations, and so on. Then you hop on your bicycle pretty much after 15-20 minutes, and you do first stretch about 15 to 20 kilometers. Then there will be a break, which is called the van stop. So pretty much one trip leader will be on the bike that day, but he's not in front. He is actually more at the tail and making sure that everybody are moving into the right direction. These days, most of our guests would use Ride with GPS, so there is no need that sweeper is looking for the guest. Usually, they're having fun behind the corner, somewhere having a glass of wine in the local square, so that's fine. And the van trip leader will stay in the van and follow the group, and will meet the group at certain points during the bike route, and will provide fresh snacks, fruits, refreshments. Of course, we'll have barrel of water, and just serve smiles too. Then we're having lunch, as I said, sometimes included, sometimes not. There's the afternoon ride from the lunch spot. Usually it's another 20-30 kilometers, or we provide extensions every day, so you could choose to bike even more than that. Then at about 3 p.m. we arrive to the hotel, and it's pretty much your time to relax, to enjoy a resort, walk around town before official dinner or special event, if that's the plan. Some dinners are included, sometimes not. So day 2, so we are going to wake up in Hotel Edelhof, and we're gonna bike from Tervisie to Venzone. It is exciting day. We are actually surrounded by Julian Alps, and we are just using this beautiful Alpe Adria bike network. Again, very safe, flat downhill for 40 kilometers. You cannot believe that, with the vistas as shown. Yeah, sometimes we stop in the agroturismo. We taste some cheeses. Sometimes we do picnic outside as lunch, if weather permits, and we'll finish in Venzone, so the lavender alpine town. We're gonna have a small, like, home hosted presentation in a small local pastry shop. There is a shuttle back, about 40 minutes back to Tervisia. Usually all guests would fall asleep and get ready for evening wine tasting after they come to Hotel Edelhof back. Yeah, and then on day 3, it's already, so that's the third morning on this land start, and we're gonna say goodbye to Treviso, goodbye to Italy, and we are going to push the pedals towards Kranjska Gora. So we're gonna change the hotels. Good thing is in the morning you just hop on the bicycle, and luggage is transferred for you with a separate van. Again, amazing vistas, amazing bike paths, just enjoying. So this, of course, photo was not taken in summertime or in spring. It's true winter. I just wanted to show you how beautiful it is. Like really Julian Alps around us, and we are exploring that by foot or by bicycle in our season. Yeah, day for optional activities. Somebody would hop on this horse carriage and do a loop. Some brave people would begin to practice to exceed the world record of the ski jumping in Planica Valley. Some people would do a monorail sled on the Kranjska Gora slope. So lots of different activities. Some people would visit Lake Jasna just behind of Kranjska Gora, or some more avid bikers would climb Vršić mountain pass, which is actually a road which was built with during the World War I by the Russian prisoners, and it's 800 meters vertical distance to climb. Yes, and then when we got all relaxed in a hotel in Kranjska Gora, which is located in the center, we are going to invite you to Slovenian traditional evening, which will happen partly in the old village house, which is converted to museum, and then later on followed by hearty dinner in Gostilna, owned by a local family. Our host on the right side is our local mother. We call it Mother Darinka, and she's so much fun. So she will teach us how to make krapi, not crap, but krapi. Krapi is also Slovenian word for one local fish, but in this case, it's pastry. Could be served as a side dish, as savory, or as a sweet dish. And we dance, we cook, and local ladies are shown how to make laces here from the local women club. And yeah, so since Slovenians are famous party animals, we invite entire group usually to the barn where there is accordion, and again Mother Darinka is conducting several different fun stuff. Okay, Slovenian dishes will not spend too much time here. Yeah, we can eat it all, I would say. Day 4, so we wake up in Kranjska Gora and we bike for 45 kilometers. Again, more or less downstream, the famous one part of the Sava River. And we appear at the Lake of Bled after 45 kilometers. In the meantime, we have home-hosted lunch in Radona Valley, where we also get introduced into the honey business. Yeah, and then at the lake, we are there several hours. The guest has freedom to choose some activities on their own. For sure, most of them will bike around the lake. It's a small lake. Most of them will get kremšnita cake on the nice platform with a view of the cliff and the castle. Some of them will jump on this boat to visit an island, or some of them will walk and reach the castle platform and enjoy the view down there. Then actually we are shuttled back, so we don't bike back, we are shuttled back to Kranjska Gora, where is dinner on your own. We give you the recommendations, and yeah, we'll see you next morning. On day 5, of course, you need to imagine that you finish breakfast in Slovenia, then you hop on your bicycle, you enter to Italy. Again, you could have a gelato, then you continue even more and you appear in Austria, and you could have a beer in Austria just in one day. It's an exciting day, obviously changing all 3 countries. Some guests would have romantic moments also here. So the man is standing on Italian side, and his wife is standing on the Austrian side. So how romantic is that? Yeah, and then we just continue riding through this neat countryside, meeting locals or local animals, and just exploring nature and exploring these beautiful bike paths and environments. And then we finally reach our final destination, final hotel on this bike portion side of the trip. So we are going to stay in a famous Hotel Schloss Felden at the Wörthersee Lake for the remaining 2 nights. So pretty much what you see, yellow building is from the 16th century. Of course, was renovated and changed owner several times. But like you see it now, it's less than 20 years. They added the contemporary part here of the hotel. So the hotel rooms are inside of the old castle, and in this contemporary part, it's actually a resort. Basically, it's not only resort; it's a 5-star plus resort, and it has several swimming pools, beach club, award-winning spa, of course, beauty treatments, and so much more. Yeah, and this is the morning route review presented by our solid Austrian trip leader force. They're presenting actually the last day of biking, which is Vrbsko jezero loop. Entire loop is about 40 kilometers, but of course for the avid bikers we offer more, and you can go up to 60 or even more kilometers in total that day. The extension here is more hilly. Yeah. So just to let you know that in this region we are in Carinthian region in Austrian, but actually in Slovenian we would say in Koroška. And that is why, because we have still Slovenian minority here, and by the law all the signs for towns and so on should be in both languages. So Vrbsko jezero in Slovenian and Wörthersee in German. And this is the last van stop, Maria Wort, right at the lake. Usually people would just want to be as quick as possible back to the hotel so they can enjoy the facilities. Some people would take a boat here who is zigzagging the lake and will jump off at the station at the lake front, at the hotel front. And yeah, this is the farewell fun and dinner. It depends how the group dynamic is, but for sure you will not escape from the sip of the Jägermeister on the last night. And our farewell dinner obviously is in Hotel Schloss restaurant. And then you will say goodbye to your trip leaders, goodbye to your fellow bicycles, and you will be shuttled to Salzburg, where you will continue the post-trip and depart home per your arrangements. Thank you very much. That was my side. I guess we'll gather questions later. So I'm going to pass my word to Matt. Back to Matt.
So I just want to tell a bit about the country walkers itinerary in the region.
There you go.
I don't need to go into too much detail about any of these places because I think there have already been some wonderful descriptions of all of this, but just to give you an idea, we start in Ljubljana. You can do an extended stay a few nights ahead of time if you want to explore the city. I've heard it described as sort of the undiscovered Prague of Europe, which I think is a description I like, sort of this beautiful European city with a river running through the center and bridges all through it. Then we head up to Lake Bled, and we stay on beside Lake Bled for 3 nights and do hikes in the region up in the Julian Alps. And then we transfer down into Istria with a stop actually in Slovenian Istria, and then stay 3 nights in Rovinj while we explore Croatian Istria, both the blue Istria, which is sort of the coastal areas, and green Istria, which is sort of the more undiscovered inland parts of the peninsula. So just a few highlights. We do hiking in 2 national parks, in Triglav National Park in Slovenia and Brezuni National Park in Croatia. We stay in, visit UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the Vrata Valley, and in Slovenia and Pula's Amphitheater in Istria. We do wine and olive oil tastings at prominent wineries and mills. Up in the Julian Alps to do an Alpine Museum visit, where there's also cheese making and cheese tasting, and visits to Alpine huts and farm lunches along the way. And then we take a Pletna boat to the island on Lake Bled, so you can visit that. If you want to carry your significant other up the 99 steps to the bell tower, you're welcome to try. At your own risk, of course, and both there's just so many different cuisines in that one region. So Austro-Hungarian, European, and then the Mediterranean sort of Adriatic coastal cuisine. So both seafood focused and sort of like that Damien was describing before, sort of more of that sausage focused Eastern European cuisine, and obviously excellent wine along the way. And then a number of really top-notch hotels, some 5-star hotels in Ljubljana and Zagreb, and wonderful amenities if you're looking to take a spa treatment or something along the way. So these are just a few random highlights on different days. I'm not by any means going to be sort of comprehensive here because there simply isn't time, but Vintgar Gorge, and then Bystrica, which is a beautiful walk to a viewpoint above Lake Bled, where you can get a nice view of the whole area. Lake Bahin, I was kind of laughing to myself earlier during Sasha's presentation because I was realizing the photo she had was almost the exact same view of the same place, but it's just a beautiful lake, I believe the largest in Slovenia, although there are many people on this Zoom who are more of experts than I am on that. And then we do a hike around the lake. And then down in Slovenian Istria, we do a tasting and at an olive oil mill, and then a winery, and do a walk into the town of Padna, and that's on our way down from Lake Bled to Rovine. We do truffle hunting in Istria with a family that has truffle dogs who take us out, and then we have the opportunity to do a truffle-focused meal afterwards to make sure that everybody gets a chance to try real, authentic Istrian truffles. And then a wine tasting in the hilltop village of Motavun at a vineyard there. We can try some of the local Adriatic varieties, which are maybe lesser known in North America, but are certainly renowned around Europe. And then in southern Istria, the Pula is the 6th largest preserved Colosseum or amphitheater, Roman amphitheater in the world. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's pretty spectacular to see it. We do a guided tour a bit with a local expert to walk us through. So those are just a few of the highlights of the trip. And there's plenty more to see on the Country Walkers or VBT websites. It's countrywalkers.com, vbt.com if you're interested in finding out a little bit more. And we'll look forward to your questions if you have any at the end. So thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Matt, and thank you so much, Damian, for this insightful presentation. And now I'd like to welcome Lana Schwab, the marketing specialist and social media manager at Life Class Hotels and Spa in Portorož. Life Class Hotels and Spa Portorož will present their seafront resort, Life Class Hotels and Spa, featuring 6 4 to 5 stars hotels. Also a private Medusa beach and Terme Portorož with Thalasso healing tradition. dating back to the 13th century. And recently, their hotel, Action Hotel Neptune, became bike-friendly hotel that caters to all the hiking and biking lovers. So we're looking forward to hear more. Lana, welcome.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you also, Sonia, for the opportunity to be here with you tonight. It's my absolute pleasure to be here to present my lovely home country, and of course also my hotel resort, Life Class Hotels and Spa Portorož. So let me just share my screen to show you shortly a short video about our resort, just for you to be able to imagine it. So as you see, our marketing campaign for this year was actually back to my class, just to anticipate what we are expecting in the future months. So back to normality, back to traveling, back to relaxation finally. So this is also for you an invitation to come back to Life Class and enjoy it. So as Simon mentioned before, our hotel, our Life Class Hotels and Spa Resort consists of 6 4- and 5-star hotels, a private Medusa beach, and Terme Portorož with Terrasso healing tradition dating back to 13th century. As you can see, we are seafront. We are overlooking the Gulf of Piran, and we are situated in the Slovenian Istria region, which means that we are also close to Italian border. We are just half an hour drive from Trieste, 2-hour drive from Venice airport, and 1-hour drive from Ljubljana. So we are very nicely situated. For every one of you coming from abroad, it will be very easy to reach us. My presentation is going to be made also with the help of my colleagues. Meet Anna, she's the receptionist at the Hotel Slovenia. This is the 5-star hotel, which is one of the best rated hotels in Portorož. It unfolds the 800 years old tradition of salt cultivation in the area, and the prevailing colors of the hotel are those of the salt plants. So you can see blue, sandy beige and white colors all through the hotel. Within the hotel, you will also find the sea spa pools with heated seawater to enjoy 365 days a year, a congress center quarters that can cater up to 1,200 guests, and a pub by Gomilio awarded Istrian Bistro and Tapas Bar. The Mind Hotel Slovenia offers 128 rooms and 16 suites. Another of my colleagues is Alex, who is the head of animation team, and he is going to introduce you to our Action Hotel Neptune, which is a 4-star hotel, recently awarded with 5 bikes category. This is the first bike-friendly hotel on the Slovenian coast, which offers the bike storage room, not just the normal bike storage room, but the modernly equipped storage room with cages for the valuable bikes, because as you know, the cycling enthusiasts like to bring an expensive bike to the hotel and like to keep it secure. We also offer the bike wash corner for washing and drying bicycles and the equipment for pumping the tires, the info point with useful information on cycling routes, which you can also check with your smartphones here on the screen, because I provided the QR codes directly connected with our tourist board Portuguese. And we also prepare the meals for the sports people and healthy snacks and isotonic drinks all through the day, so our guests can enjoy specially designed foods and drinks whenever they wish. Close to our Action Hotel Neptune, you will also find the bike rental point, so you can rent either the classical or the electric bike and go around the biking trails, because our region of Slovenian Istria is full of them. So just around the hotel, you're going to find interesting biking trails like Pagansana Trail, which goes from Trieste to Poggio or Parenzo in Italian, and you can just enjoy the views, the sea views, and the vineyard views all through the trail. The Action Hotel Neptune consists of 85 spacious double rooms and 2 apartments. So these are just 2 of our 6 hotels. We also have other 4-star hotels, but I just wanted to present you 2 of the hotels which are more interesting for the biking. Moving on to the things, to the other things you can see in the area or visit. Before, Alexander already mentioned the olive oil tasting with old-timers. This is a very nice experience, interesting for the smaller groups. You can go around with the old-timers and taste the olive oil, see the sightseeing and do some photographs, or you can do sailing or a Fonda fish farm, a visit to the Fonda fish farm with sea bass tasting. I must mention the family is very friendly family that knows how to grow the sea bass and clams in the Piran, in the Gulf of Piran, and they really know how to explain very well what they're doing. So it's a really nice experience that I would recommend. Another thing to do is also the stand-up paddling. Of course, you can rent all the equipment that you need in the area. You can also do diving, the windsurfing, and maybe also jogging. It's a very nice idea. I do it often. So it's a very nice destination for everybody that love being open air. In a safe environment and surrounded with nice local. Another of my colleagues is Sarah. She's going to welcome you within. So our thermal spa Portuguese, Tagna Portuguese, is open 365 days a year and features the Talasso tradition based on 800 years old healing tradition. Of course, our healing tradition is connected with the salt pans, the salt production in the area, as we are healing with the 5 natural elements coming from the sea. Not just the concentrated seawater, but also the therapeutic mud. We also have the thermal water because we are the southest thermal spa in Slovenia with the 42,000-year-old thermal water that is considered to be prehistoric sea. So we are registered as the thermal spa, and we do a lot of healing, not just wellness and pampering. So you can also do some treatments if you have the problems with the back, or maybe some rheumatic issues or problems after surgeries. We know how to deal with that. Of course, without the sauna park in the winter, there is no real relaxation. We offer 7 different types of sauna experience and treatments. Before I mentioned that we have also pools with heated seawater. They are located within the Mind Hotel Slovenia and our Hotel Riviera. They're connected with those both hotels. But I must also mention that all of our guests have free access to all our pools all year round. So whichever hotel you're staying, you're going to get free access to those pools, and you're going to enjoy unlimited swimming, because we don't do just one-time access per day, but you can go anytime you want. So morning, after lunch, before dinner. We also have the Ayurveda and Thai massage center. Our masseurs are coming from India and Thailand, so they are certified, and they're really, really very good. We also do the sports massage, and we have a medical center approved by Olympic Committee also. So this is another of my colleagues. His name is Sinisha, and he's the chef at Eastern Bistro and Tapas Bar, and he is going to introduce you now the food and beverage part. So the Eastern Bistro and Tapas Bar, I mentioned before, received by Domino's for better set level. In this restaurant, Eastern cuisine with a bit of modern twist in the colorful bistro. So we have 50 capacity of 50 guests. Of course, you can also reserve the whole restaurant for yourself if you have a group. And it's a really nice experience with front cooking show, with local ingredients, kilometer zero, like Sasha mentioned before. So it's really something that we're proud of. Another of our nice cafeterias is a Café Central. It's renowned for premium cakes. Also, we received multiple awards for them, and live Saturday concerts. Café Central is a perfect venue for events and after work socializing. And of course, also Café Central is awarded by POP by Gomilio certificate. So this was shortly from my side. For more information, visit our webpage or write to our booking department. We are also present at social media channels, not just Instagram, but also Facebook and YouTube, Twitter and LinkedIn. So wherever you are going to follow us, you're going to get first-hand information. Of course, now the COVID situation is a bit tricky for all of us working in the tourism sector, but we can assure you that we're dealing with that with the best possible attention. We also have the COVID point within the resort, so you can get the testing on COVID. We do the antigen rapid COVID testing for just €7 per person. So of course we ask our guests to bring the green pass. They need to be either tested or vaccinated, but just in case, you can always do the test within the resort before checking in or before going home. So this is from my side. I will be here for more of your questions, and please visit us at Life Class Hotels and Spa in Slovenia.
Thank you, Lana. Thank you for a great
You're welcome.
presentation. And now we will end our presentation. Here we are. Here we are, your hosts. So thank you very much to all our presenters. I think we had an immense amount of information, and I think it should help you dream and plan your next vacation to Slovenia, to Europe. And we now actually can go to the question section. So if there's no questions right now, thank you to our wonderful presenters from the Slovenian Embassy, the Canadian Slovenian Chamber of Commerce, the European Union Chamber of Commerce, the Slovenian Tourist Board, Porto Roche Tourist Board, Compass Express Travel, Almond Travel, Country Walkers, VBT Bison Vacations, Life Class Hotels and Spa. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to all our audience as well. Simon, any last words?
I would just like to say thank you, everyone. All the information you provided was amazing, and I hope to see you here in Porto Roche. And I'm looking forward to go to do another tour of this beautiful town where I'm right now. Lana just showed some amazing things. Matt and Damian showed some amazing things. Alexander was talking about some awesome things. I was like, oh yeah, this is around the corner. I have to go see this again. So, and I hope I'll see all of you here in very near future. So thank you very much, Hvala. And as Sonia said at the beginning, this is the first one of our seminars, and there will be a few more or many more in the following months and hopefully years too. Thank you. Hvala.
Lahko noč. Hvala.
Lahko noč. Thank you.
Bye.